how did you hear about moving 24 Frames Per Second Festival?
I actually heard about it from a family member of mine who knows Marcus and is kind of involved in the Detroit scene, and I just came back to the area, so she sort of like planted the seed as a way to get more involved with the artist community here.
And I knew about it from the lovely Carlos and Marcus, who I'm good, lovely friends with. So I was excited to participate this year since I couldn't last year.
Cool. Speak about maybe the anticipation of not knowing who you might be paired with, and
oh my gosh, I had so much anticipation. I was very anxious. I walked in there and I was like, Marcus, I'm very anxious. He's like, it's okay. And I'm like, no, just tell me. So it totally broke all protocol when we were paired as dual dance makers with a filmmaker. I had like totally envisioned things differently, and I think that was actually the best case scenario because I could sort of set aside any like mental preparation that I had done and go in with a blank slate and just respond to the prompts that we were given and start brainstorming like in that present moment.
Mm-hmm. Great. If you could speak about, because we like being very transparent, what would you feel like what might have been one things that it was great to meet this person and create, but one thing that you might have felt like, wow, this was my biggest challenge inside this experience, but I can now be inspired after?
I think that, well, my answer to that would be, and I don't even know that I would call it a big challenge because it didn't feel very huge to me, but just I think it's really interesting how when you're talking to somebody, you can be talking about the same thing, and then when you get to the point of, or think you're talking about the same thing, and then when you get to the point of making or filming or whatever, you're suddenly like, oh, you had a really different image of how this was going to work than I did. But I never felt like that was a negative thing for me. It was just sort of fascinating. Like I don't know about you, but with the filming, there were definitely times when I was like, oh, filmmakers think about this different than dancers. That's not what I was imagining at all. And so I think what's really inspiring about that to me is that I feel like I got a little bit of a glimpse, I mean, obviously into two different minds, but specifically into the mind of someone that's primary medium is film as opposed to dance, and I think that it will adjust how I think about my own movement and creation in the future.